Hi everybody, I'm Krishna Vandanapu. I have 15 years of IT experience. I am a proven Power Apps and Power Platform lead. I am a Power Apps community super user. I have contributed more than 270 solutions and I am top 10 contributors all time in the community. And I am a business applications MVP. I am a speaker in both Office 365 SharePoint Saturdays event, Office 365 Saturdays and SharePoint Saturdays events and local user group. And today's session is all about code reusability in Power Apps. Before I dive into, just I want to take 1 minute to explain the dependency of learning this aspect. We are all makers and we are creating Power Apps with various control, and some of the controls need a code to perform some validations or to perform data operations. At times, we will end up creating multiple controls with the same code. Example to say, one of the classic example is I have a farm wherein I need to save the data. I also need to submit the data. But both the times I am adding a entry into my data source, which is going to be a submit form or a patch control. If the screen is with individual controls, we will end up using patch. And if the screen is having a form, we will do submit form. Having said that, if user want to add a new control on the screen, or if a user want to remove the control on the screen, I will have to change my patch code in multiple controls. So to avoid that, what we are doing is we are learning how to manage my code efficiently. So okay, probably in code reusability, I call it as two levels. One is local code reusability and the other one is global code reusability. What is local code reusability and global code reusability? If I want to use my code at the screen level, reuse the code at the screen level, I am calling that as a local reusable code blocks. And if I want to create a code at one screen and use that code across my app, I'm calling that as a global reusable code blocks. Having said that, how that works is I hope you can see my Power Apps Maker portal.
Yes, Krishna, we can see.
Okay, give me 1 minute.
Thanks.
I just completed one session. I have to
Yeah.
open my app to show how it exactly works. Okay, I have created a Power App wherein all I have created all the controls as individual controls on the screen. My intention is I have my data source as a SharePoint, which is to maintain a release management system in my uh, team for my team. So what I need is, as per my team's requirement, I should be able to save my uh, release management if I want to submit in future, which means that save as draft. And once I am happy, I can submit for my manager approval to proceed further. In that case, what I'm doing is, as part of my save, I am adding my uh, new record into my release management by doing probably as module 2 and the release date as, say, like release date as 30th of this month, and my team lead is myself and team members as Sai and myself, and say like sample demo with the users. Now, if I click on that, what it will do is it will create a new entry as part of my data source. Let me go on to data source and show you what exactly how it look like. Now it has created my entry as a draft because I saved it as a draft. But now now I wanted to submit this to further processing. How that works is which control I'm in project
Uh,
name.
Krishna, we can't hear you if you are speaking.
Oh, do you hear me now?
Yes, yes, it's good
So
now.
looks like
Thank you.
I went on to mute by chance. So the thing is, when I wanted to call, when I wanted to submit the control, submit my record, what I am going to do is I am going to call the my icon as part of my button submit. So what I'm doing is I am calling, selecting my control. I have added a code to submit the data with the variable as var operation. In var operation, I am saving by default as a draft. If I want to submit, add a record with the status as submit, what I'm doing is I'm updating my variable and then I'm selecting my icon. So what happens if I just do that now is module 2. I'm adding just one more time. And this is a good to go scenario. Okay, now if I submit, if you notice that it selected my icon to process my code. In this scenario, what I did is I have reused my code for both save as draft as well as to submit my entry to the backend. So what I'm doing is I am reducing my code changing from here to there to here. In this way, I can ensure that my code reusability at the screen level is working seamlessly without, if tomorrow user want to add one more control, I can quickly add here and I can, well, all I need to do is I will come here as part of the draft icon and I will add my code here at one place. So that will work for both submit as well as draft. This is what I'm calling it as a local code reusable blocks. If I want to create a global code reusable block, what is the business case is that if you see here project name, I am getting the project name from another table which is called another list called project names. Why I did that as part of this is I have a requirement from the user that I should only show only the approved projects as part of my drop down. If I create this project as part of my SharePoint list as a lookup to this column, I can as well create that. But the challenge here is if I go to list settings, add a new column, create a lookup column, say like PR name and say lookup, I can select my list as projects and then but there is no way I can filter my project should be only approved unless and until I write a conditional formatting and our target is to ensure that my citizen developers or like the people who are not techies, a simple English known people should be able to create Power Apps. But here I don't have a way to filter the projects which are having the status value as complete are active or approved. But so what? I have created another list to ensure that my uh, projects are coming as a drop down. Now if I want to add one more project, say that I have only 4 projects. Now I want to add one more project as a project demo. This is a demo project and this one is approved and the start date could be 21st of this and end is say like 28th of January and I'm going to say add. So here, what I'm doing is I have added a new project called a demo. Let me go back to my home screen. And if I see, I am able to get the project demo. But if you see, this is a collection which I am building as part of my app on load. How I am ensuring that my collection, we all know that when we are creating a collection on, sorry, on app load, which is as part of this toggle control, app on app start, I'm doing a toggle, I'm switching the flag value from true to false and true false to true, and I have set the uh, flag value as a default, and then on change of this toggle control, I am doing this at the time of that toggle control. I am creating this collection. If you see, my collection is creating while my app is loading by toggling my variable from true to false and false to true. But I have not relaunched my app, but I can get, I'm able to get my newly added project as part of the dropdown. How does that possible is, if you see, this is a toggle control and the default value is a global variable, which I can set my global variable value from false to true and true to false from across my screens. What I'm doing is, as part of my project, while adding a new project, as part of this submit button, I am submitting. Also, I am toggling my toggle control, which is going to recreate my collection with the new values. If I just show you the toggle control, by default it will be, now it is off. If I go and create another thing, demo, another project, demo project 2, this is to demo the toggle control, and status is approved, going to be 23rd and January 31st, and I click on add. It got added. And if I go back to my home screen, I can see my toggle control got turned from off to on and on to off. So what, I got my demo project too, because what it is doing is I am toggling my control and it is rebuilding the code. In this way, I can create my global code, reusable code blocks, which I can organize. I can create at one place and I can execute that code from anywhere in the application, anywhere in the app, which is exactly same way what we do as part of our .NET or Java applications, which we call it as a data access layer. We create all the data access layer controls at one place and we call from across the application or the website. What it does is it will go and get all my data. This is how I can control my my code from across the apps. This is called, this is what is I'm calling it as a global code reusable code blocks. Oops, sorry, wrong presentation. My previous presentation, I have opened it. Another one I wanted to cover here is always use simple codes when we are operating with the larger data sets. What exactly that means is that if we see here simple patch condition, but when we wanted to use the patch condition, whether it is existing list item or a new item, I had to use two times, as one is patch data source, look up my data source name and with the ID value. But if it is a new item, I will say like patch and use this. This can be replaced by using simple Kolaski function. What the Kolaski function does is Kolaski function looks for the recent what do you call, the non uh, empty value. What exactly that is? If I say Pulaski. Now I'm saying that blank, blank, followed by this is a sample. If I assign this to a label, it will get this is a sample because my first non-blank value is the sample. If I just say that this is value 1, I will get value 1 because my first non-blank value is value 1. If I replace my patch function with this, what happens is, example to say here in my example of saving that, if I replace this with Colaski function in that, what I'm going to do is this as add selected item, if not the default. What I'm doing is, what is my selected item is in my gallery, I am just passing my selected item here to the screen release details, which is nothing but here also what I'm doing is I am not passing the gallery dot selected item, rather I'm passing the this item as a variable. In this variable, I will hold this selected item. When I go here, I have my selected item value as selected item. Why the hell it is not coming? So here I will get my selected item, which is nothing but I could as well say look up release management where ID equal to the gallery one dot selected dot ID. So this time what I'm doing is I'm getting the selected ID. When I just submit that, it will just update the existing item with the new value. So what I'm doing is I am not writing a code to separate code blocks. Rather, I am using the same code as this. Error is showing up. Oh, there it is. So I'm using the same code, very same patch code as a reusable code block. I am not writing multiple codes. So this is how I can reuse my code across the app without writing the same code and again. Another thing is when we are writing the code to remove the rows or update the rows, use remove if and update if rather than writing the same code and again. It will help iterations, number of iterations to come down if I use remove if rather than iterating through the entire data set and remove a particular row with the ID value. That is how you can ensure that my app is performant with all my data and all my formulas are reused across the app. If you have any questions, please reach out to me on Twitter and LinkedIn. Thank you for your time. Have a nice day and enjoy the rest of the event.